Welcome to the Basecamp Barn project. This week, we work on our Covered Porch Ledger board and some interior flooring. But will we be able to park our RV inside before the season's first snowstorm? And will it fit? You know what time it is. Yep, it's time to get back to work. So here's the first of 3 ledger boards. I pulled this board in. It was 27 feet long. It's a true timber, 3 inches by 8 inches. Not, the current, like if you got a 6x6 now, it's only 5.5 by 5.5. So this is a true measurement. It's currently upside down because I just stained it. I'm using this Cabot Australian timber oil, and it's made all of the knots just pop. Look at all the beautiful knots in here. It just pops. They're red as red as red. And that might be what we need to paint our front door color, is one of these reds like these knots. I routed out all pockets for all the other rafters. So we gotta make it like a timber frame where it's gonna have a slot and the rafter is gonna have cutouts so that it hangs out, because it's gonna be 3 inches wide too. This is a 2-inch wide slot. So it'll overhang this slot by 1/2 inch on a side all the way around. Really wasn't terrible. The router did a good job. I made a jig so that it's even. Here's the back side, and that's the original color of this lumber. We'll see how it cures. It's still wet. I keep touching it and it's still wet. It's an oil-based stain or oil-based, so it penetrates and makes colors pop. I mean, there's some blues in here. This is all beetle kill pine, so there's a lot of blues in here from the beetle kill. So we'll see. I think it's gonna, be a nice complement outside. We need a little bit more color out there. Kind of like our garage doors, they added a little bit of color to the monotone black and white that we have out there. Electricians should be here any day to hook up the wire for our RV plug-in over here. We've got a few things left to wire up, and that's been one of the reasons why I did this first, is because I got 2 wires coming out of that we're putting boxes up there to operate all the lights underneath that we're going to have, and some overhead heaters. So I got a hole in here for the wire to come out, and a hole in here for the wires to come out, so that we can put a box up here and terminate it up there until we get to that point. Because I want to get a electrical final done here quickly. Maybe the end of the week, I hope. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but we still have open panels here to fill in and finish up. And a few electrical outlets need electricals, but switches all work, lights all work. So electrically, we're really close. Alrighty, good morning. As we're getting closer to moving the RV in, I'm beginning to clean up the garage area here. I'm going to scrub the floors with the power washer or the pressure washer here in the next day or 2. But this morning, while it's cool upstairs, I'm going to string in some coax while my tile guy is doing stuff in the bathrooms. So I've got a little hole up there, access panel that I'm going in. I got lights up there, but it's dark, and I'm going to try to walk on the trusses without poking through the sheetrock. So one of the things I forgot was how to get coax or how to get signals in to the utility room. So my goal here is, watch the light. Here's my home run for all of the services. I'm going to put a hole, there's a stud right here. I'm going to put another 4-gang hole right here. And I got to go into the attic and drill a hole in the top plate and feed a line down to get to a hole here. And if I can get that successfully done, then I'm going to mount the antenna outside and drill a hole in the soffit. But first things first is I got to get wire from here up the wall and across to somewhere over here, and then we'll figure out where the antenna is going to go. But it's just one of those things I got to do, and I figured let's do it now while it's a little cool up there before the sun gets on that steel and makes it warm up in the attic. So, but it's dark. I don't think I can bring a camera up, so we'll just kind of get it done. Well, success. We got the wire strung from upstairs. I found it. So I'm going to the store to get another bigger box, and we'll just cut this open just a little bit larger, and we'll put the bigger box in. And then I got the antenna put up, but you probably can see the antenna way up there. Now we're going to have a roof over here, so it won't be quite as obvious. So that was kind of the good thing that I wanted to do. That was a chore I was not looking forward to, but I got it done, so success. Yep, I hired a tile guy. I needed to get the floors in the bathrooms done and the showers tiled up. And he said he'd be able to do it in about 8 to 10 days. And as it turned out, he was here for almost a month. But nonetheless, that's who was banging yesterday, was the tile guy that I hired. So we're putting some Ditra Schluter membrane down before the tiles go down, because the concrete might move or flex or something, and that gives it a barrier to move if it has to. And it'll keep the tiles from cracking and the grout from cracking and stuff like that. That's what we probably should have in the semi, or in our RV, because the floor's cracking and the floor moves. Obviously it's an RV, it moves. I wonder if they did that. I doubt it. So here's what it kind of looks like when they place these tiles. See these little standoffs? So they stick it into the mud, and then they put this stepped wedge in here, and it makes the tiles even to each other for the most part. So everywhere there's a wedge, it's stuck, and it lifts the two tile edges together. And then once it's all cured, so like in the morning, they'll pop the wedges out, and then you knock this little tab off, and all that's left is this plastic that's underneath there, and the tab is broken off right at that joint there, right at that junction, and then you just grout over it. You'll never see it again. So it's kind of cool. It's a really cool invention someone did a number of years ago, and it makes it so that you can't stub your toe on a lifted tile, especially in a bathroom. We poured the shower pan last night. We used little strips of my siding for our screed board all the way around. And then the coolest idea we came up with, and I think it worked out really well, is we used a 2.5 gallon bucket. We cut a hole in the bottom so that we could slide it over the drain pipe, and then cut the bucket so that it's at the right height, and use the edge of the bucket for a screed board for the inside. So we were able to screed all of this using the side screeds, or the side guides, and the bucket top. It worked out great. For a $5 bucket used up to make all of this the right slope, it worked out great.
get it wet. Everything's off, okay. We're just gonna trip it. We're gonna... AC? So far so good? Electrical works?
AC, I think we're good.
I like the sound of that.
Puppy thinks we're good. We good, doggy?
Kenai, is everything okay? Kenai. Kenai. Oh, I'm teasing the dog.
Well, cheers. She fits. First time in. We got room down the side to walk if we need to. We can walk around it, except for this puddle from washing the floor. But this is the goal here, was to be able to get it inside. I've got it slid over this way quite a bit so we can get that slide out, because we're still living in it. Maybe for another week or two or whatever. But when we close this door, I wanted to be able to walk back here. And we can. And then I wanted to be able to have access to the rack here if we needed to. And we can, so maybe we'll put less used stuff up here and more used stuff back here. And the other thing is I need to be able to open these doors. This is a big darn door. That's probably one of the problems with this rig, is the water closet is too big. So in our water closet here, we've got the sewer for the gray and the black hose, and our water reel for our freshwater hose is in here too. But that door is so big it runs into stuff, even if far over as we are. But here's our sewer outlet. We ended up putting this in just for this reason, so that we can hook up the RV while it's parked in here. And then over here, with all the chair storage, is our water spigot, so we can hook fresh water up. We can be 100% hooked up here whenever we need to be living in it. I mean, heck, I even here at the power, I got 50 amp, 30 amp, and 110 on this wall unit, all breakered right here at the outlet, just like at a campground. Wish I had time to wash it. Maybe we'll roll back one of these warmer days here coming up and wash it before our next trip. But we made it in, so cheers. And all the other stuff is still in here. I've moved my painting station to over here, moved my racks to over here. This is the last of the trim outside that we needed. I got first coat on it. I'll have to paint another coat tomorrow. I'm done painting the white siding. I mean, we're getting real close, gangs. If the RV fits in, that's how close we are. Well, look at that. Here we are at the end of October. First snow. We moved in just in time. Super quiet out here. We got a patio. Natalie moved over one chair. I still have a little bit of trim to do. I got all my corner pieces painted, but I got to assemble them and put them up. But luckily, we got most everything. I'm probably 95% done with the siding of the house. I keep finding little nail holes that I haven't painted. So I still have a little bit of touch-up paint to do. I still have to caulk some of the windows. I did all the upper windows. Just need to do some of these lower windows. Anyway, first snow. First snow. It's 30 degrees right now. We're expecting to get into the teens tonight and tomorrow. So a cold front is for sure coming through. We are 70 degrees inside of this here barn, the living space. I've got flooring roughly halfway done. in here and in the bathroom. So we'll be doing the rest of this floor today. The mini split was running. I left it running all night at 78 degrees up there. And it seems to be working. It's very comfortable in here. In fact, once I start working, I'm gonna have to wear some shorts. So I'm thinking I'm gonna turn this one off, maybe turn the bedroom ones on, just to get them to run. But anyway, we're very comfortable in here. The garage where the RV is was 65 degrees all night. No heater out there. I'm thinking the payback here finally with our concrete walls is paying off. We'll see. This is the first test. We've got a cold spell here for the next 4 or 5 days, and we'll see how this here performs. So far so good. We're putting down this floor muffler stuff. We needed a vapor barrier, and this kind of solves 2 problems or 2 issues. We have a vapor barrier underneath the concrete between it and the earth, but concrete naturally has moisture in it. So this stuff here has this little flap that you unflap when you unroll it, and the other side has a sticky backed tape that you stick to the flap, and so that creates a vapor barrier so that the wood flooring doesn't warp or doesn't gain any moisture. And so this vapor barrier also acts as a little bit of a cushion to take up any variations in the floor. But the other thing is, it says it keeps it quieter. Somehow it muffles your footprints or when you walk on it, so it doesn't sound so loud. And that's what I did in the bedroom. I put down a vapor barrier, 6 mil vapor barrier, and it sounded like you were walking on eggshells. So then I ended up putting this stuff down in here, and you can walk in here. All you hear is your shoes. So I'm pretty content with putting that stuff down. That's the process, is basically unrolling these rolls, taping them down, holding them down because they want to roll back up, and laying your boards out on it. I did all of this yesterday, and so I should be able to finish up this today. Got a little bit more in this room to finish up. I just laid stuff out so that we could go into the bathroom without tripping over anything. But I need to lay out some pieces in this closet and start cutting around all these corners, and so it's going to get a little bit more complicated as we go here. This room is pretty normal until we start getting into some of these closets. And like this room here, I got to lay it out and then move this big heavy thing off of where it's at and onto here, and then lay out pieces in there and then move it back. So that's going to be the challenge once we start getting into here. The stove is probably going to stay put. I don't want to put stuff under the stove. I'll probably put stuff underneath the dishwasher, and I'll probably put stuff underneath the refrigerator. So that's kind of the next step. And so this area here is going to be complicated, but shouldn't be too bad. I didn't start laying flooring until almost lunchtime yesterday, just because I had to clean everything, wash everything, sweep and vacuum and get it all ready to go, and then start laying out this stuff. So that's the project for today, is we'll carry on with this here flooring and See how far we can get.